Hey you guys, it's me, and today I am going to talk about the books that I finished in October. The only books I'm not going to talk about are 3 of the picture books. I feel like I talked about them a little bit in my last book haul. In case I didn't, I talked about them in my blog, and I will link that post below. But I will throw a picture of those books up here, and the other picture books I read are I Am a Unicorn, What Do You Do with a Problem, and What Do You Do with a Chance. And I thought What Do You Do with a Chance was freaking fantastic. So, the other picture book I read this month was Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So, the reason why I'm showing this book is because I still had it out. So, I thought we were going to get to see 8-year-old Buffy, like, slay a demon or a monster or something. And instead, all she does is talk about how she used to be scared of the dark. Every time she would turn out the light, she would hear things go bump in her closet. And that's one of the things I really liked about this book, was because all the monsters in the closet were monsters from the TV show, and I recognized all of them. The thing I didn't like was that they were all, like, good, you know, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's weird. But in any case, it was still really cute, and I still really liked it. It was just, it's not what I thought it was going to be, but that's also totally fine. It was still super cute. Anyway, so the first non-picture book I finished in October was The Poison Diaries by Mary Rose Wood, in collaboration with the Duchess of Northumberland, who is the Duchess of Andwick Castle in Scotland. So this is a historical paranormal romance. And so I really liked the book, but it was also, like, super boring at the same time. It's like the pacing is so slow. It was painfully slow. And basically, I think I started reading this book, like, in July or June. In any case, it was back this summer, and I just finished in October. I wanted to know what was going to happen, and I was interested in the story and, like, where it was going and blah blah blah, but it was just so slow. And, like, there's, like, a second book, like a sequel, and I don't know if I want to read it or not. And I'm sure the pacing is better, but it's kind of like, it was just so freaking slow. But I did enjoy reading it. It just took me forever. So the next book I finished is a novella, Bittersweet Vengeance, Curse Witch Book 1 by T.S. Silverthorne Bach. I also liked this book, but it's just like, it's one of those things where I was like, I kind of wish I had known going in that the main character was going to be so upset. I didn't have a problem with her being upset and whining about her life and blah blah blah, but it's just, it's kind of like, I didn't know, I thought it was gonna be like, you know, curses and, like, I don't know, I just, like, it was fun, and, like, the narrative, like, the way the story was told, like, the way the author told the story, like, it was just so engaging, and I was just, like, pulled in, and I just wanted to, like, just sit there and keep reading. But at the same time, like, I was, like, disturbed, but, like, not in a good way. So basically what happens is, main character, whose name I forget, so she is a witch, and she's like a half witch on her father's side, and her father is long gone and blah blah. So she starts dating this male witch, and he's, like, from this powerful witch family, so he says. So anyway, after they're dating for a while, she gets a note from him telling her to meet him in the woods, and she goes to the woods, and she gets dragged away by this faceless guy and basically gets gang raped. So, and not basically, like, actually. And I don't know, I just wasn't in the mood, and I didn't know that going in, and I thought, like, she got her heart broken, and that, you know, I mean, like, she got her heart broken, but, like, I thought, like, it was just, like, I don't know, I didn't know that's why her heart was broken. Now, these faceless guys were demons, and if I had known that they were demons at the time that it happened, which is why I'm going to go ahead and, like, spoil it, is because I just feel like it would have been better, like, I would have been better to swallow, just because of the mindset I have, you know, towards, like, things that you can't see. I don't know. I didn't like that at all. But, you know, I picked it up while it was free, and like I said, the narrative was really engaging, it was really interesting, and I really felt bad for the character, and I wanted to see what was going to happen, and I really liked reading it. You know, but that kept me from loving the story. Like if she like caught him cheating, or if he just upright and dumped her out of the blue, and that's why her heart was broken, and then she wanted him to die. Like I just feel like you don't have to rape somebody to like for them to want somebody to die. Or maybe I'm just crazy, but it's like, I'm a girl, and a lot of my friends have been girls, and I've seen them want death on a guy over over some very petty things. And it just doesn't take that much, is what I'm saying. And so I just noticed lately it just seems to be like a trend that they just feel like the authors feel like the only way I'm going to feel sorry for this character, and the only way I'm going to want her to go and get vengeance on a guy, is if she's raped. And that's just not the case for me. I'm like, a lot of things could happen. Again, cheating, dumping her out of the blue, dumping her for no reason. Like, I don't know. There's just so many things that you can do to piss somebody off, and to hurt them, and to crush their spirit and crush their soul. He could have tried to kill her. He could have left her for dead. Like, there were so many things. And then, gang raped by 5 demons. And I'm just like, ugh. Why? It just really bothers me. So all that to say, I liked the book, but I didn't love it. But I did think it was good. And I don't know if I'm going to read the other ones, because now I'm kind of scared. I mean, I don't think somebody's going to get, like, attacked in every book, but it's just like, I'm not in the mood. So, in any case, Bittersweet Vengeance, I think, would fall under the realm of, like, an adult paranormal. Okay, so the next book I finished was my audiobook, which is Heart Shaped Box by Joe Hill. So this is like an adult horror thriller, and it's about this over-the-hill rock star who collects, I think the word is macabre. I'm always saying macabre for some reason. But anyway, they're like really dark, kind of twisted, weird things. So when this ghost comes up for sale, he's like totally interested. And so he basically, what he does is he buys this dead guy's suit, and the dead guy follows the suit to his house, and then now this dead guy is haunting him. So it was really interesting. It wasn't as creepy or as scary as I wanted it to be. Like, it was really, really fun, and I really liked it. But I also wanted to be, like, more scared. But I was only kind of creeped out, like, maybe, like, the first, like, 100 pages. And then, like, the next, like, I don't know, 275 pages or something. It was good, and it was fun, but it wasn't creepy. I'm not really sure why. I'm one of those people that it's like, sometimes, like, if you're watching a horror movie, like, once you see the ghost, it's like not scary anymore. Like, what's scary is like, what is it, and what is it going to look like? I think maybe what it was like, once I knew what the ghost wanted, like, it made it like not scary anymore, because then it was like, oh my gosh, this ghost guy is crazy, and I didn't think he was crazy at first, and that made it really scary, because I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy, this aging rock star, and his girlfriend who's like 30 years younger than him, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're totally going to die. But like, no, like, once you find out that the ghost guy is basically evil, then it's like, well, of course they're going to win, and some of the tension is gone, and so it's like there would be more tension if it wasn't so obvious that the other side was the crazy ones, But I really enjoyed listening to the book, and the narrator did a great job. And yeah. So the last thing I finished was Ashes Burn Season 1 through 7 by Terry Martinson. This is, I think it's called hint fiction or microfiction. It is a hint fiction fantasy series. So basically that made me think that like each chapter would be like a separate story, but like each chapter is like a continuation of like a larger story, and it was kind of like reading like a 600-page fantasy book in like an hour, and it was fantastic. like for somebody like me who like I don't read a lot of high fantasy, and so it kind of gave me like this taste for high fantasy without like all like the boring like we're going on an adventure bits that's normally in a high fantasy book. I'm guessing, I don't know, there wasn't like a lot of description. There was like just enough description and just enough dialogue so that it was like vivid and you knew what was going on, and so it was a lot of fun and it was interesting. So I would put this like in an adult high fantasy category. Oh my gosh, it's so hard to explain, but it's kind of like if you've ever read a book that's written in verse, only I don't really like books that are written in verse, so this is like better than a book that's written in verse, because instead of it being written in that kind of poetic lyrical style, which is great if you're reading poetry, it's written like a book. And so there's just like, you know, like 5 lines or something like that, and each line is like told like a regular story. Like you have, you know, so and so walked into the room and shouted blah blah blah, where it's like written like a regular book. So basically the premise of the story is something happened. So there was like this fire and the king and queen died, and one of the sons ascends to the throne and the other son flees because he thinks it's his fault. So the guy who flees, his fiance comes after him, and so like she's looking for him and trying to say, oh my gosh, your brother has ascended the throne and he's crazy, you gotta go back and like get him off the throne. So it gave me Xena Warrior Princess vibes, and Xena Warrior Princess is one of my favorite shows. So it was just kind of like, it was like, I don't know, it was fun, but it was dark and a little disturbing, but like in a good way. And yeah, it was a lot of fun and I liked it. So so that's what I read in October. Feel free to tell me what you read in October. Also feel free to give me recommendations based on the genres that you've seen in this video, because it's pretty accurate to my taste, I think. So I'm still reading a lot, and I'm currently reading Pippa, which was in my last book haul, and so I will be doing another reading wrap-up when November is over, and I don't know what other videos I'm going to have up this month, but I will see you guys in the next video, and that is all for this one. Bye.